Hi guys, welcome back. Session number 10, secret number 4. Be in the right state. Master your states. We can't stress this one enough. Like in anything in life, and certainly in relationships, if you're not in the right state to do something, what do you mean, Brett? Be in the right state to do something. Yeah, you get it, right? If you're not in the right state, you're not going to get success. It doesn't matter in sports, it doesn't matter at business, it doesn't matter in stock trading, wealth creation. You've got to have the right state. So, equally important in relationships.
And the communication. You know, if I really want to influence Brett, what state do I need to be in to influence him?
Yes. Throwing a plate at me is not the right state to influence me. It ain't going to work. So, what do we have to do? Well, we've got to learn how to master states. And there are 3 ways that you can change the state that you're in. Because things around you, how you think and what you do with your body will influence. So what I mean by that is, if you hear a really nice song, is that going to change your state? Absolutely. If you sit down and eat a really nice meal, or have a nice glass of wine, or have that relaxing cup of coffee, is that going to change your state? Absolutely. And there's been heaps of research done to show that any type of drug that we take, doesn't matter what it is, the drug itself only works 1/3 of the time. The placebo works the other third of the time, and the drug doesn't work the other third. So drugs don't work 2/3. And our state can override the drugs themselves.
And sports people have to really practice this.
Yeah.
They really have mastered state control. Because if they're swimming at an Olympic event, it doesn't matter if they're tired, if they feel like doing it or not. Basically, they've got a time, date and place where they have to be switched on.
Yeah.
So they really have to master states. And quite often you can use an anchor to help you master that state. And I know for myself, music is a great anchor for me. So as soon as I get up in the morning, get the kids' lunches done, I turn on the music, puts me in a great mood.
Yeah. So we quite often play music in the morning while we're having breakfast with the kids, and that puts us all in a really great state for the day. Equally, guys, I know that for all men, you know, when we come home from work, for a guy, we just want to relax. We want to go into our little nothing space, and we just want to think about nothing. But the real story is, guys, you can't do that. I know we'd all love to, but it ain't going to happen because she's still switched on. She's still working, and what she expects, rightfully, is that we're going to step up and do the same thing with the family. We're going to come home, get stuck in the kitchen, help the kids with the homework, do whatever else we need to do. I mean, Marie often jokes to me that, you know, domestic chores, helping with the kids, it's like foreplay. And every woman...
I'm just easily pleased.
Yeah. Women expect it of us. Now, to do that, you're going to have to be in the right state. You're going to have to come home and switch on and be back into it and keep yourself going until the kids are in bed. You can relax, have some time with your beautiful wife, listen to all her words, focus on her, and then you can go and get the newspaper and relax. And then you can switch off state. But if you can't master that, if you come home and you're tired, you just want to wind down and you don't have the right state, you're not going to get the result you're looking for from her. It just will not happen. So what you're focused on, what you hear internally and externally, and what you do with your body will influence the state that you're in. If you want to get depressed, drop your shoulders, start thinking negative thoughts, put your head down, and your physiology will start to reduce your levels of serotonin. Put your head up, start smiling, listen to some great music, and suddenly your levels of serotonin go up, and you're feeling much more up. You're lighting up your own pleasure centers. So in a relationship, we're going to be able to do that all the time. In life, to be successful, you have to do it, and you're doing it already. You're already manipulating your states. It's not the things around you that create what happens to you. It's what you decide you're going to do and how you allow it to alter what you're doing. Now, with states, we've already talked to you about what it's like to be in the masculine and feminine, but we also want to give you some distinctions on what it's really like when you master that masculine and feminine state. So, for guys, when you master the masculine state, you'll actually have control of your emotions. You'll be able to step up into the relationship and you'll be emotionally strong. And whatever's happening, you'll handle it. It won't bother you. And you'll be present for her. Really present for her. In fact, you'll feel powerful. Not because you're dominating, not because you're controlling, just because you're actually in control of yourself. Because that's really what the masculine is about. The very thing that you want to conquer is not the external thing. If you look at any movies where you've got the hero, at the end of the movie, what the guy is all about is the fact that he's actually mastered himself. He's gone through this trial and tribulation, but for him, it's actually he has mastery over himself. That's what the masculine is actually about. And he's not macho, he's actually kind and generous with his time and generous of himself, both with her, with the kids, with people around him. That's really what the masculine is actually all about. And when you start to master that state, you really notice the difference in your life. When you're in that state, she doesn't have to tell you what she's feeling. You can almost put the words into her mouth, because the masculine state, when it's focused on her, can really read her and understand her totally. And you can repeat back those words to her, and then she feels understood. And equally in the masculine.
And if you don't step up and stay in the masculine state, we can. Because women are very strong. And we can go into the masculine state no problem. So if he's not stepping up, she will. So just be aware of that dynamic. But for a woman to live in her feminine state, it is a beautiful place to rest. You can get a lot done. You can still be successful. You still got drive. But it comes from a place of wisdom, a place of influencing. And there's less rushing around. There's less rushing. You just take things easier and smoother. And it just works out.
It does. So for the guy when he's in the masculine state, he's going to be able to interpret his children's behaviour too. He's going to emotionally understand where they're at. He's going to feel like he's the leader of the family. Because ultimately, she wants him to lead emotionally. Doesn't mean he tells her what to do. Doesn't mean he tries to control her. But emotionally, he's in control of the state of the family. He holds the position as the leader. He holds the certainty of where the family is and where the family's going. And if it's a problem, he steps up and he handles it. He doesn't leave the family finances or the decisions about the kids' school to her. He's equally involved and he loves it. He really enjoys being there. Now, for the woman to be in the feminine, that's very different.
It is. For a woman to be in the feminine, it's a place of grace. As I said before, it's walking around in a very different state, and it's a very influential state. And you actually influence men a lot in that state, and I don't mean manipulatively. I mean genuinely.
Yeah, because guys know there's a difference between being a woman being sexual and a woman being sensual. And when you're sensual, you're in your feminine, and guys far prefer that.
And even making love, in the bedroom, it's very different from making love in your feminine than making love in your masculine. And gentlemen, in the bedroom, women's minds just don't stop.
Guys, this is the good bit, right?
So it's really important, where a man can be focused, he can be focused on making love. A woman can be thinking, oh, did I put tomorrow night's dinner out? So, a way around this, ladies, is put some music on, set the scene, make the environment welcoming, and focus on your hands on where you're touching your man. And ladies, she makes love, doesn't have sex. She is more in tune with her kids, and that relationship flows better.
Yeah.
And with her man, there's more, if there's a problem, that she's more supportive and expresses how she feels rather than attacks.
Yeah, definitely. And when she's in her feminine, you really notice that life for a woman, it feels like it's flowing for her rather than there's a constant pressure. Life is just flowing like a river.
A constant rush.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
rather
flowing
than
like a river.
constant rush.
And there's no sense of stress in her life. Even though there's challenges going on, it's a completely different feeling for her when she's actually in her feminine.
Yeah.
And she'll support and thank her husband.
And I think women know when they're
Yeah,
living in their
they
masculine and living in their feminine. You know, instinctively they know. And as I did all those years ago, you know, I knew I was living in my masculine and I was competing with my partner, you know, and now it's very different.
So I trust you've got a good understanding of state and how to start to recognize when you're in the masculine state or when you're in the feminine state, because it makes a huge difference in terms of how your relationship is going to be able to move to the next level. Because what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you actually want to be. You need to learn new skills. And I hope from watching these videos and you guys sharing these videos with your friends and your loved ones and your family, that they'll also start to learn the principles too. So thanks so much for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session. Thanks guys. Bye for now.